Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of The 60 Second Car, the podcast that follows every single minute of every single movie of the entire franchise, which at the point of this recording, not all, but 10 numbered movies have been released with, what is it, how many? One extra movie, and then also these mini shorts and as an anime short. There's all these together. We're going to cover as much as we possibly can in as little of time as we possibly can. However, it does cover minutes at a time, so I think we have a set amount of time. Anybody who's listening to this, if you want to email me exactly how many episodes we'll have to get through, please do so. My name is Danotage, and I am one of your hosts for this lovely podcast. We record in the evenings usually, so it's nice and cozy. I happen to be drinking coffee, so it may not be too cozy inside my body for now, but I am joined by my co-host as always, host of Far Beyond Metal and host of this lovely 60 Second Car podcast, Daniel, aka Overcord. Hello.
It's a me. Hello. So when you say that coffee isn't cozy, I think of warm as cozy. You made your belly cozy, but no, because you're putting caffeine in your belly, It's not cozy?
Yeah, I'm essentially inserting the equivalent of NOS into my body to then amplify it to ironically help me sleep later.
Would doing like a beer bong of coffee be the equivalent of like putting NOS into your gas tank? I don't know where NOS goes.
I don't actually know either.
I feel like I could have. Okay, so hold on. I feel like I could have learned from the last episode about Fast X where NOS goes when they go down his hole. Okay, so I feel like that taught me, but I wasn't paying attention. My mind was too blown about whatever the fuck we were watching was. Anyway, we're not there yet. That'll be in 7 years or something.
I do know that every time because of the Fast 10 being out now, and because of people making content around it and being asked to do like YouTube stuff and all these, a bunch of Fast YouTube videos have been popping up and populating my feed and stuff like that. And it's either one of two types of videos. It's either, here's all the cars ranked by my favorite to my least favorite. Here's all the things that are super cool and crazy about the game, about the movie and stuff like this. Or it's, here's all the things that are wrong about the franchise. Here's all the things that make the franchise cringy. Here's all the mistakes that they make and how none of these things would actually really work. And I'm like, if you're making those movies, or you're making those videos about these movies, I can't find a reason I would want to hang out with you at a party. I just don't think you'd be very fun.
No, absolutely not.
Because we watch and I want to be clear about this. We watch these movies because they are an absolute great time. And even Katie, my Katie, after the movie, after Fast 10 we saw, we sat in the car and she goes, "That was fun. That was a really fun time." And I was like, "Yep, you are 100% certified fan, because you don't have to know everything like Daniel and I do. You don't have to break down every single minute, which I'm sure nobody is doing in the world. You don't have to do all the things that we're doing to be a fan of this franchise. All you have to do is come out of every movie and go, that was a good time. I had a good time."
I appreciate that you say we know everything. Somebody in the chat has commented how NOS works. I started reading it and I decided I don't want to know that because I don't want to learn about cars. So I'm not reading that response.
NOS goes in between the intake manifold and throttle valve.
Nope. Headphones off.
But I also don't know what that means. So
good point.
So I'm just reading things. I don't know. I could Google these things. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
I have a car. I put like some weird expensive sauce in it. It goes. It's great. So that's all I need to know.
Why I brought that up, though. There's two reasons I brought that up. One, there are a bunch of people who actually do actually, it's just nitrous oxide. NOS is just a brand. Those people, I don't, go do something else with your life. Second, you posted today on the Instagram post today about Come watch the live stream so you can see the Nosage get made. And my shitty brain said something along the lines inside my head that said, why am I thinking about the Limp Bizkit lyric, welcome to the Nosage, punk, take a look around. It's Limp Bizkit fucking up your town. I don't know. That's not even close to the lyric, I think. But for some reason,
I was gonna say, what is the lyric?
I don't know. I can't remember now, but I just in my head I'm saying welcome to the Nosage, punk.
Welcome to the Nosage. The show is a new name, the Nosage.
So that's Generation, right? Generation.
Yeah, probably.
Lyrics by Limp Bizkit. Oh, My Generation, sorry.
Oh.
Welcome to the jungle, punk. Take a look around.
Of course. They gotta give a nod to Guns N' Roses.
Right. And for some reason, my brain said, welcome to the Nosage. Don't know why. I don't know why.
That'll be the Patreon exclusive, the Nosage.
Where
man. It's whatever terrible ideas we have put into one sausage casing and tied off, and then you pay money for it.
I think we can do a whole Limp Bizkit album too. I did it all for the Nosage. What? The Nosage?
I mean, oh shit, are we there yet? We're not there yet. Limp Bizkit has a needle drop coming up.
Yes, yes, he does. Though. Yes, they do. Yep. Dude, we did talk about this before, but we did see the guitarist from Limp Bizkit recently.
I'm seeing the rest of Limp Bizkit this year with my dad, weirdly.
Oh, let's go.
my dad has gotten really into going to Aftershock in Sacramento because he likes a handful of the bands, and he actually likes to go early. And he likes to go early and check out bands he's never heard of. I'm like, for a 60-something-year-old guy, I love that about him. But he also is like, yeah, Limp Bizkit. I'm like, excuse me?
Hey, man.
You want to see Fred Durst? Let's go. Let's do it.
I absolutely do not stan Limp Bizkit, but I cannot lie and say I rocked out pretty hard to a lot of their albums in the day.
Mm-hmm. I've been trying to convince my band to cover Break Stuff. We ran through it once and then just haven't followed through. So, hello, guys, let's do it.
I would be absolutely down. I know there's some lyrics back and forth about that he tries to start. Fred Durst starts beef with a bunch of people. But there is a Trent Reznor beef for a moment in the whole like the beginnings of nu metal and stuff like that. And I think when Katie heard that lyric, she was like, "Okay, no, I don't like Fred Durst at all. I never did, but I definitely don't now."
Pick a side. I mean, if we're gonna pick sides, I'm definitely Team Trent. But
yeah, absolutely, Reznor.
Whatever. Yeah.
We love us some Reznor. Yes, Nine Inch Nails is one of my favorite bands of all time. Somebody I listen to every now and then, still to this day, but I don't know why. I went down a very sad rabbit hole of Linkin Park again recently, and been listening to a lot of their discography again.
Buddy.
Yeah. It's a sad hole. It's a sad one. But it's very interesting. And I mean, we were talking about Transformers in the break, and that's a whole Limp Bizkit made their whole soundtrack and stuff like that. Not Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park. There's an L in there.
Oh, right.
That would be weird, but not totally uncalled for. Anyway, we're here to talk about the new minute, the minute 7, right? This is minute 7 of The Fast and the Furious, where from where we left off, we're introducing main characters, and these are like the straight up, let's pull into the driveway and introduce one by one.
Yeah, I've actually really been enjoying how these minutes laid out as far as character introduction, because the last one ended with a pan up a character, and we had it where it showed some face, and it was Michelle Rodriguez, who Letty Ortiz. So a pillar of the franchise, despite not being in a couple, like all of them do.
Well, so what's crazy, and we Katie and I talked about this, there are a lot of movies she's not in, right?
Yeah.
So she's in 1, she's in 4, but then she disappear until, is it 7? Or 8?
It might be like, I don't think it's that long.
No, it's not 8. It's not 8. She's back on the team by 8. I think it's 7.
Okay, maybe. I forget. Well, she's in like the credits of one of the earlier ones. Maybe it's
her picture is yeah.
Yeah, the whole oh wow, she's still alive. Look at this.
Yeah, you know what? I think I might be getting it backwards because we don't meet the older brother Shaw until younger brother's dead, right? I'm pretty sure it's a little bit earlier than that. It might be even 6 that she comes back in.
Wait, is he dead? Because I thought they did the whole plane heist together.
With the younger brother?
Yeah. Okay.
Plane heist.
Well, the whole thing where they show up on the plane and one dude's flying the plane and the other guy has the baby. Isn't Baby Shaw in that one or other Shaw?
I thought it was older Shaw. The guy that didn't take over memory lost Letty, but I could be getting it wrong. All I know is for some reason they become like best friends with their mom. So there's that whole thing. But yes, this is where she's out of the movie for a while. And yeah, I think a lot of people will probably also forget that Vin Diesel isn't in the second movie at all. Which is crazy. And then he's barely in the third.
Right.
So and I think even my Katie talked about the other day when I mentioned this, she was like, I thought this was his baby, and I go, I don't think he had anything to do with the second movie at all. I think he came in once like maybe Justin Lin started taking over.
Yeah, it's like definitely known as his baby, but he was not top billing in the first one. He wasn't in the second one. He's barely in the third one. And then I think 4 on it becomes the Vin Diesel show. But yeah, so the first 3, like not main guy.
Yeah. I can't wait to get to 4. He has some weird lines in that movie.
Sure does.
Yeah, it's got some weird ones. But back here, we'll show the screenshot here of our yellow car driven by the guy we never see again after this movie. Ever again. We never see him.
I want to do one thing real quick, just because it feels unfair to Michelle Rodriguez. I've done this for everybody else.
Yes.
At the time of this film, she was 22 years old. This is her second film after a movie called Girl Fight in 2000. She's from San Antonio, Texas.
Girl Fight. That's like her. What the heck? That's like her career.
Right. Okay. So back to the yellow car.
Yes.
Yeah. So like you said, we don't see this dude again. This is Leon, which I actually had to look up his name.
I forget his name every time.
Like, I realized when I was taking notes for future episodes, people aren't really named yet. So this is just going off of Wikipedia and stuff. But yeah, Yellow Car Leon, his this cool car paint job thing. Don't really know what's going on with it. It's a sword. It's going very fast because, of course, it's on the side of a car. It's probably why it's going so fast.
It seems to kind of be their theme too. I think they put a similar type dude on the orange car later too.
Ooh, orange car. I'll have orange car written down. Anyway.
No, not in this scene. In the new 10-second car in the future of this movie. But they have this. I do believe. I we'll look at the other ones. I don't think that the other cars have those dudes, but I think it's a common thing for their cars for some reason. Anyway, Leon.
Yeah, notes on Leon. Johnny Strong. This is his 8th role. He's the singer of a band called Operator. I did not look up much else about them other than they have some ties to Fast eventually.
Interesting. So I wonder if that's like his way back in. He does some music.
We'll see.
He's in other movies.
Needle drops. Yeah,
he's in my favorite movie of all time. He plays Shagard in Black Hawk Down.
That's your favorite movie all time. Interesting.
It's one of them. Yeah. I like the movie a lot. I'm weird, but he plays Shagard, who is this badass character. He plays nothing like he does in this movie. And I shouldn't say nothing. He's fine in this movie, but he plays one of the Delta Force Rangers but Delta Force dudes that goes in and saves the day, saves a pilot from being swarmed by a bunch of militia, who eventually gives off his life, and it's a real story, and he does a good job of playing him. I think it's pretty sick. Other than that, he's not in much. He didn't really get too much work after this. apparently he's in the flashbacks of Fast and Furious 6, and then he's uncredited as Leon in Fast 5. Maybe there's something where they show him for a second again, but they don't even credit him, and they bring back everybody, so this is weird.
Yeah, I've been noting people's roles before this one, and I had nothing for him other than he was in the band.
Yeah, I don't think he's in much. He's in Get Carter, apparently, which is kind of big. And then a bunch of things I've never heard of. The Glimmer Man? I don't know who that is. 1996. Seduce My Madness in also 1996 TV series. But yeah, he didn't really do a whole lot. But I guess, is this bandit big at all? Like, is it popular?
I mean, I know music pretty well. I've never heard of Operator, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say not really.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, this is his introduction. He's we know him as the Radio Man. That's pretty much all I know him as.
Yeah, when you were saying the Radio Man, I wasn't really making the connection until like, yo, Yellow Car. I'm like, I checked my notes. Yellow Car is Leon. Great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about this. He's kind of the caretaker in a lot of ways, right? He's making sure they're not getting caught by the cops. He also is the one that takes care of Letty at the end of the movie and takes her to Mexico, or wherever they go. I actually don't know where they go. He's the one that's always worried about our character we'll introduce in a second, and he's just kind of the guy, right? He's the anchor to everything, it seems. So you figured he'd do more, but I guess they filled that role with other people.
Yeah.
But next, so here's Leon. Next scene, we have the big dog. Vince. We introduce Vince, the man, V, as they call him.
Matt Schulz. This is his fifth role after Blade and Boys and Girls are things I've kind of heard of. I hate this guy. This guy sucks. Like, he's a fine actor. You're supposed to hate him. So I guess he's playing this role well, but I hate this guy.
Yeah. So I like him a lot in Blade. He's in Blade 2 specifically. He's one of the
vampires.
Crap. Yeah, but they have a squad that they call themselves.
Vampire Squad. The Dracula babies.
They're led by Ron Perlman.
The Nosferatines. What are the vampires? The Draculators. I'm done. That's 3, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Ron Perlman, he plays Reinhardt in Blade 2. Thereafter, they're called something. But anyway, Vince, our guy here, he plays a pretty cool character. I think he's got like a mesh shirt or something. I think his name is Chupa. Yeah, as in, Spanish for suck, because he's a vampire and all that.
I thought we were talking about this movie again. I'm like, his name is not Chupa, but go on.
No, but that's where I remember him from, and like I actually didn't put together in my head that was before this. That was before this movie.
I have a singular Blade, not Blade 2, as on his Wikipedia, IMDb, yada yada. So maybe he was somewhere in the background and earned himself a spot in 2. I don't remember.
Yeah,
don't fact check me. I don't care.
No, that's possible. Because he was Chuba. Yeah. Oh, so it was the year Blade 2 was the year after this, 2002. But yeah, he plays a cool character, and then we have him here in a pretty big role, right? He's the role that is correct the whole time, even if he is a jerk, right? Where he has this bad feeling. Well, that's kind of unwarranted at the beginning, but he ends up being right about the fact that Brian's a cop and all this stuff. But he's the muscle, essentially. Even though he's the muscle before Vin Diesel gets big, I guess.
He disappeared so the screen could fit Vin Diesel's muscles that eventually grew.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next dude, though, Jesse.
Jesse is his name.
Chad Lindbergh. Like, I had to look up all these names. So this dude, first off, character choice, wearing a beanie when you know it's hot as balls, because future scenes, future shots. But that seems like
this shot here, he's sweating his butt off.
Yeah. He's 24 years old in this. This is his 14th role from TV and film. He's been in Buffy, X-Files, ER, etc. So he's got a pretty notable TV role or TV career, but movie-wise, nothing that really popped out to me. But he winds up being a weirdly important character in this whole thing.
He kind of does everything for them.
Yeah.
He is the brains of the operation. In fact, there's a scene where I think it's kind of a turning scene for Brian's character, where he sees like the humanity behind these, what he believes to be criminals, or who he believes to be the criminals that he's looking for. He's just not sure yet. But he has the brains, right? And he pretty much designs all these modifications to their cars just on his computer, which in 2001 probably didn't have a lot of computing power.
Nah, probably not.
So he does a good job. I did find the group, by the way, from Blade 2. They're called the Blood Pack. and Chupa, played by Matt Schultz, is not wearing a mesh shirt. He's just wearing a chainmail shirt.
That's metal mesh, sure.
And he has brown hair, except for the most of his hair, which is the top, is all dyed blonde.
Good. I like that for him.
Yeah. But you have Jesse. Yeah.
Was everybody in the Blood Gang or whatever? Did they all
Blood
have
Pack?
Different name? Blood Pack? Were all their names different languages for the word suck? Because that'd be very funny. Or is it just Chupa and then Greg?
There are some weird names. So Donnie Yen is in this pack as well. He, at this point, it's like one of his first movies in America and doesn't speak a lick of English. So he like does like a whole bunch of like nods and stuff like that. But the Blood Pack, yeah, they have a bunch of them. There's like Assad, a different language. Nissa, who's one of the people that I think Blade likes or knows or whatever it is. Reinhardt is the leader. He's played by Ron Perlman, so that's probably a German name. I'm sure they do, all kinds of stuff, right? There's a whole, so apparently this is like a big part of the comics. Lighthammer is one of them. So their names are all over the place, but they all have nicknames. They don't use their real names or whatever they might be.
Welcome to the show within the show, the Blade Minute, where we talk for a minute about the movie Blade that I saw once.
Yeah, absolutely. So Blade 2, which is the weird one.
Blade 2.
Yeah. Blade 2 is the weird one. I think it's worth a watch. I had fun with it. Blade Trinity is a whole different story.
We've been doing a watch of all the Marvel movies, not the MCU, all the Marvel movies. So
like the original
Blade,
Hulks and stuff like that.
Your Daredevil, your Elektra, the original Hulk. We were having a mixed bag of a time, and the Blade ones were maybe the most mixed series. But ultimately, I think I was pro. Will I watch them again? Probably not.
The original was cool. 2 was okay. 3, even though it had, essentially your what's his name? The merc with the mouth.
What?
The merc with the mouth. The Deadpool. Essentially had Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
Because he had Ryan Reynolds playing a Deadpool-like character in a Marvel movie where I think they might have even credited him as Deadpool at some point. And then you had the daughter, or Whistler's daughter, who hunted vampires to cool music.
That's what those movies are. Cool music and hunting vampires.
Yeah, they were weird, but Trinity was definitely the worst one. But I had fun with them. And then they're redoing Blade. They're remaking a new Blade.
I heard about that. Cool. I mean, we're doing this whole rewatch thing. Let's do it. I guess I have to at this point.
We'll watch all the Marvel movies that are not MCU minute by minute.
Howard the Duck. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So back to Fast. So this part is one of my least favorite types of scenes in these movies. Again, as I've shown, I don't care about cars. So they get out of the cars and it's car talk. So Vince is bad at his car and they suggest that you should use NOS or something. So NOS gets a shout out. Every time NOS gets a shout out, bonus shout out from me. Mm-hmm. So something is going wrong with their cars and they're trying to talk about it. But I don't know. Yeah.
So I did watch a video recently where they were so it was a group of people that sat down with like real mechanics to like go through these movies and be like, how real is this? Stuff like that. This scene, while weird and like doesn't fully make sense in some of the things that they say, apparently this is one of the higher accuracy and realism scenes where they talk about, you know, line mapping and stuff like that. So it's not, it doesn't, if you said all this to a mechanic, they'd be like, huh? But they would also kind of understand what you're saying. Versus a lot of the other things that are said in this franchise makes very little to no sense.
Sure. But this then leads to a very funny moment where Vince grabs Jesse's head and makes him look around, and then just becomes Bluto from the Popeye cartoons about how he's just like mad that someone's into olive oil and he's ready to fight.
He absolutely is Bluto. I didn't think about that.
That was like the first thing I thought of. And he just goes all Bluto and just gets big and becomes a big jerk. And then it's just this like machismo overload and he's ready to fight. And it leads to like, I know I've mentioned I'm going to call out iconic lines, and I feel like I've called out every other line that's been said, but the line, what is he, sandwich crazy? So great. When he's in his Bluto tizzy, what is he, sandwich crazy? Because he's been there for 3 weeks, he's getting a sandwich crazy. Aren't we all?
Leon follows that up with, nah, it ain't the sandwiches, dog. like he's. I would turn if I were Vince here, turn around and be like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's obviously what I'm saying.
He's slinging parts for her. I know what he's slinging. At the same time, you know what? I don't. I get it. I get it's supposed to be that he's into Mia, but like, I know what he's slinging doesn't make me think of sex really or having the hots for somebody. Really?
You never heard about slinging dong?
I thought that was just like whipping it out, but maybe I don't know where.
No, slinging is like you're giving it to someone.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I've learned something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I know that. I've never used that term seriously, so. But yeah, I mean, then everybody follows each other into, even though they were working on something, by the way, they were all working on this, but once Vince starts making his stomp move, maybe they know Vince well enough to be like, we should probably be in there if something happens.
But see, then they go in there. Fight. They go in there, and as we've mentioned on and off, it's so fucking hot and sweaty, and all these scenes that they've been doing, or these shots they've been having right now. So
sweaty.
So they go into this place, and they just start taking drinks, opening them up, and then something that's very funny to me is Dom is sitting in the back in his like anger cage, and Letty pops her head in, offers him a drink at what presumably is his own store, where he has clearly already just gotten his own drink. Why? I don't. That's one line that doesn't seem necessary. But why am I? If I start doing this for every line, that's all the show's gonna be.
Because I think like until Letty dies, right? I think she's very much the submissive to Dom. And then when she comes back, I think those roles get reversed.
Yeah, sure.
So she's just trying to like make him happy at this point and do whatever, it happens. It's just, the roles. That's just how they've set up their relationship and whatever it might be. And Dom's this big old macho guy that gets obviously very emotional later in the series. And it makes sense, I think.
At first he's thirsty, later he's emotional. Happens to all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it happens to literally everybody. I mean, wait, am I projecting? But yeah, this is when they show up, and I mean, we talked about this in a previous episode. It might have been last episode, where maybe what Mia is writing down on her list is, all the things that she has to mark down as loss because they're just coming in and consuming.
Just working on the ledgers because these guys think everything's free.
And then I pulled this last screenshot just for you because I knew you had. I mean, you kind of just mentioned it, but
so sweaty.
He's like, not just like it's hot outside sweaty. He's sweaty, and he also just ran a couple miles.
This is me after 5 miles when it's like 90 degrees, and I'm a sweater anyway. But like, oh my god, guy, get a fan. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
It's not only a lot; it looks dark. Like,
yeah, it's concerning.
It is concerning. Like there's something going on here. But this is the scene, obviously, right after Letty asks if you want a drink, and then he just holds up his can. I wish I would have got that in the shot, but he holds up a can. I don't remember what it is. I kind of want to look it up, but
yeah, I kind of tried to like look to see because as we discussed previously, it is not Corona, so maybe it's a soft drink, but maybe it's a label in soft drink, so you don't get to see it. Like this cup, what's it for? You don't know.
It looks like it's like an old school Pepsi. Is what my memory is telling me.
I think there's Snapple in that fridge, but that's not what he grabs because that's in a pop top bottle.
Yeah, no, there's definitely. I do feel Snapple does show up later in the movie. I know that. Yeah, when Brian actually pulls a very gentleman move when they're at a party and there's a bunch of alcohol and she says, let's go get me a drink, and he gets her a Snapple. When she says, I'll take anything. She could have made her a beverage of some sort.
I want to acknowledge something that was brought up I know we live in this world where there are no other fast podcasts, but something was revealed in another episode of a show that never occurred to me about this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we've discussed, as we've been going along, the age discrepancy between characters and their actual actors and stuff like that. In this movie, Vin Diesel was 34. Mia, whatever her name is, Jordana Brewster.
Jordana Brewster.
Brewster, yes, 21. So there's a 13-year age difference. Canonically, according to whatever Paul Scheer's sources are on how did this get made, Dom is supposed to be 24. So whatever age difference there is between Mia and Dom, she probably is not of age, which then makes Brian a cop and a problem.
Yeah. I think for the sake of everything, she's probably like 19.
Yeah,
right?
18, 19. So she's not drinking. Yeah. She's concerned about drinking laws. That's why she's having a Snapple. But that thought had never crossed my mind, and I don't know if she has a canonical age.
Well, then, do we know Brian's canonical age?
I mean, it didn't come up in what I was listening to, so
because he's an undercover cop, so he's not just a rookie, right? So he's got to be, and he's probably been through the academy. Probably, I don't actually know. The one time he went to jail was juvenile delinquency, whatever it is. They call it JD in the movie at some point. But he did go to an under 18 jail. So at this point, he's probably like 25. He's probably the same age as Dom, maybe. I'm looking at the screen that I was looking up. It's just it's a regular like Coke can, looks like a Pepsi can. It's all white, and then the label's facing away, so I can't tell what it is. But he does just hold up a regular can.
This episode brought to you by cans. Pop them open.
Yeah, cans. I mean, we can bring it to the Jason Momoa family, as he was just in Fast 10. He has aluminum contained water because don't use single-use plastics. Yeah, it could be brought to you by aluminum cans. That's fine.
I mean, The Rock has an energy drink, I think, right?
Yeah, but I don't really want to do anything that financially supports The Rock, so I don't know.
Fair enough.
Whatever. Funnily enough, and don't trace this. Please don't anybody trace this.
Start tracing.
Not removed family, but distant family. I am in some way related, or at least my stepdad's family, who I've known since I was old enough to remember, is related to the Momoa family. So there's that.
Let's get him on the pod.
Oh, dude, I think he would have a great time, but yeah, that'd be very difficult.
Let's jump right to the Fast X minutes with him. We'll watch all the minutes with him.
So we'll record them now, but we'll release them in 7 years.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
That's totally fine. I'm in. I'm sure you would have a great time because as we, without spoilers, what we mentioned is I think he just had a blast shooting that movie. I think he had such a good time.
Speaking of good times, have we had a good time with this episode, or do you have anything else?
I think we've had a good time. This is nothing really happens. These are all introductions. The next episode, I think we get some cool facts. I think from our music man, Mr. Daniel. So,
I should probably start researching stuff quick then.
You mentioned it before. I think you know what's going on. But we'll get into that. I think we had a good time with this. I think this is where we finally see the whole team and the whole crew, and we start to leak into the plot of the movie.
And their dynamics. Finally. Love it. Let's do it.
Well, thank you all so much for watching, everybody. If you are watching here live on Twitch, hello, hi. We're waving at you, and you can see this. If you're watching this on YouTube, we all did this in the past, so don't wave back. It might be weird. If you are listening to this on all the platforms that you've heard via audio only, all the podcast platforms, still working on iTunes. We did talk about this. This will happen soon. Hopefully you guys catch up. We've been seeing a slight increase in listeners. You guys are really showing the love. Please go follow us on Twitter at 60second car with numbers. Follow us on Instagram, 60second car, spelled out, the whole thing. And email us at 60secondcar, the numbers, at gmail.com. If you have any questions, concerns, complaints, whatever it might be. Maybe we have our own corrections department and you come in and tell us how we're wrong. And unless we got something wrong about the movie and it's actually a car fact, if it's how we're wrong about a car fact, you know you're listening to the wrong podcast. So thank you all so much for watching and listening. My name is Dan, and I'm joined by Daniel. Thank you all. I'll see you next time.
I'm going to try something. Family. Did the effect work?
It did.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.